Welcome to St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Farnham Royal, Slough, England. Today is the fifth Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. Today's Gospel is from Matthew chapter 5 verses 13 to 16. You are the light of the world. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven.
Jesus said to his disciples, You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. Words we heard this morning from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, 13 to 16. Maybe I begin by asking, who has had the greatest impact on your life as a person? Who has influenced you the most? Was it someone close to you? Perhaps a member of your family, a friend, a member of the church, or just a random person? How would you like to describe the impact they made on your life? Is it a kind of impact that helped in your growth and development? Was the impact something that hindered it? What aspect of your life was changed as a result of the person's influence in your life? Your relationship with God, your perspective about life, your economic well-being, your entire moral and belief system. Maybe we turn the question around. Have I, as a Christian, ever made any significant difference in anyone's life? As a Christian, has my Christian living ever impacted others? Is there a life that is being made better or being changed as a result of the way I live my life as a priest, as a way I live my life as a Christian, because of my relationship with others? Is someone getting better? Is somebody getting inspired? Is somebody getting positively influenced? In today's gospel, Jesus, using two metaphors, salt and light, clearly defines the identity and mission of his followers when he says, You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. But why call us salt? Why call us light? Why the use of these metaphors? Perhaps because these two have unique qualities. The salt, for example, at the time of Jesus, it was considered something precious, something essential. And the people at that time believed that salt was created just for one reason: to make a difference. Whether it was used as a preservative, because before the arrival or before the manufacturing of refrigerators, food was preserved by use of salt. So salt was used to prevent food from decaying, from rotting. And in the same way, therefore, Christians are expected to preserve the world from decay, from corruption, to preserve the world in its original form, according to the mind of the Creator. Salt was also used and is still being used for cooking as a seasoning, giving flavor and taste to food. such that food without salt is bland. In the same way, therefore, Christians are meant to give meaning, taste, bring joy into people's life. Salt was also used for healing and for purification. If you have an open wound and you place salt on it, it stinks, but eventually it heals. For purification, especially within the context of religion and worship. For example, as borrowed from the Jewish religion, we still use it today. When we want to bless water, we pour salt into it as a way to purify. So, calling us salt of the earth, Jesus wants us, just like salt is being used for healing, he wants us to heal wounds, to heal broken families, to heal broken lives, and not to cause it. And also using light to identify us. He wants us to brighten the world and to brighten the lives of people around us and to guide, just like light guides. However, there is something again about salt and light. Whether salt is used as preservative or as for healing or for cooking, there's something about it that you don't need a big amount of salt in order to notice its presence in a soup. And you don't need a big light. For example, if this whole building, this big church, if the lights are switched off and there's darkness here, a candle is enough to make a difference. Meaning, therefore, that for us to make a difference in the world and in the lives of people around us, we don't necessarily need to have a big platform, big titles, big names, or to be in the place of leadership or even perfection. Just where you are, how you are, making people around you find meaning, making them to feel better, influencing and impacting on their lives. That is why Jesus had to identify us using the metaphors salt and light. However, after describing us as salt, he gave a severe warning. He said, "You are the salt of the world. However, if salt loses its saltiness, it becomes good for nothing else except to be thrown out." But how can salt lose its saltiness? I'm not a science student. I don't think I did chemistry beyond my SS2. That's my 7 or 8, whatever you call it. But common knowledge tells us that sodium chloride, which is pure salt, is one of the most stable compounds we have, and therefore it really loses its substance. However, when salt is exposed and comes into contact with certain contaminants, its essence is either diluted or lost, such that although it remains white, still looking as salt, but because it has lost its essence, it wouldn't make any difference again in the soup. Even if you pour a cup full of it in a pot of soup, you wouldn't notice it, because by that contact, it has either been diluted or the sodium chloride in it has been washed away or removed. Similarly, our salt of the earth, one of the things that weakens and in fact destroys our ability to make a difference, to make impact in the world, in the society, in the lives of people around us, is often our desire to fit in, our desire to blend in. When we try to blend in, we try to fit into a particular setting, a particular group, we either dilute our identity, or we even lose it, or give it up entirely, or we compromise. I remember an incident that happened when I was still a seminarian. During one of our holidays, I was traveling from my city to a bigger city, Lagos. We were in a coach, very many passengers. As we were leaving the park, a gentleman stood up, said some prayers, and then started preaching. Then everyone discovered, because it was so clear, that his teaching was more or less an attack on Catholicism. Everything about Catholic faith, the rosary, our devotions, our beliefs, our hierarchy, everything, it was directly attacking it. And beside me, there was this woman who wore her rosary over her dress. And the language of the preacher was harsh and strong. At a point, this lady stylishly bent down and removed her rosary and put it in her box. I saw that because she sat beside me. I felt so sad and disappointed. So I decided to engage the preacher. I started asking questions, and from there I took over the teaching and the moment. When I finished, everyone in the court clapped for me. Some gave me gifts. But I noticed that while I was speaking, the lady opened her purse, brought out her rosary again, and put it back. After my speech, she turned to me in a way to defend and explain herself. She said to me, I felt the preacher was talking to me. I felt that he singled me out. I felt victimized. I felt attacked. I felt targeted. So for me to feel comfortable and to feel at ease, like the rest members or the rest passengers, I had to do that. I am sorry I did it, but that was the only way I could feel okay in the bus. Similarly, many of us have been pressured by the society, by the circumstances, by people who are in our lives as our friends, our colleagues, either to compromise our values, or to give them up, or to lower our ethical standard in order to fit in order to feel liked, in order to feel accepted, in order to feel okay, in order to feel comfortable. We make our faith a little bit more private because we don't want to rub it on their noses, One of the things they desire to fit in is usually driven by fear of rejection, fear of being labeled, fear of standing alone, just like this lady. Although when we fit in and devalue ourselves or dilute our substance or give up our ethical values or our faith, we might feel okay momentarily. We might have the sense of security within that group. But the long-term consequences are enormous. Number one, it affects our mental health because there's usually a pressure that comes with it. It affects our growth spiritually and morally. It also affects our authentic identity. And we might find ourselves in a situation when we begin to adopt certain lifestyles that are risky, that are dangerous, and often that are illegal, just to fit in. Now, ways to all the young ones in the church. I would like to ask you just this question or these questions. As a young person, who is influencing your life? Who are you listening to? Who are you admiring? Are their principles and values compatible with yours? Or do you sometimes feel the pressure to give up what you cherish, your values, what you believe in, your identity, because you want to make the rest of the group okay? You want to feel comfortable. You want them to accept you. You want them to love you. You want to be liked. And then you put up a mask that is not you. The power of making impact. I will demonstrate it with these two charcoals. And with that, we end. I have on my hands two charcoals. two pieces of charcoal. So now, look at it. None of them is lit, none has fire on it. Let us assume, therefore, that this one has light, is lit, and this one has no light on it. Now, if you place these two charcoals together upon each other, out of two things, one is most likely to happen. It's either the one that has light transfers the light to this one, and it becomes lit. Or this one that has no light will so press hard on this one and extinguish the light it has. One out of the two must happen. So when a live charcoal is placed upon the one that has no light, it's either the two of them generates and creates light, or the emerging light on this one is extinguished. And that is what happens in relationship, coming to contact with people. It's either our saltiness gives taste to their lives, our light brightens their light, or their presence either takes away our saltiness or dims or even extinguishes our light. The power of influence. I drop back my charcoal. Now let's go back to the questions, with our lead questions. So, who is influencing you as a Christian? Can you say that the impact they are making in your lives are generating a new person in you? Or do you think that it is sipping away the saltiness in you? It's diluting your essence. It's making you feel less of yourself. You are losing your authenticity. Jesus says to us today, remember who you are as my follower. Remember that in all circumstances you are the salt and you are the light. My prayer is very simple, that those people who are in my life as my parishioners, as my friends, that they may never dim my light, dilute my essence, or take away my saltiness. And please be careful so that myself, by being in your life, I don't by intention or whatever design dilute your authenticity or make you feel less of yourself or pressure you to become something that you are not.
Follow us for weekly gospel and homily service